So welcome to our first ever fundraising event via Zoom. It's been quite a journey for all of us. So I hope you bear with us as we navigate this first ever event online. I do remember saying to my team, oh, it'll be so easy. It's a presentation, piece of cake. And we've really been rehearsing all week long in different shifts. So we've worked really hard to put this together for you. And I just want to thank you for being here and participating. So we'll move on to the next slide. So tonight, we are going to go through a few things. And don't worry, it's not hours long. It's about 30 minutes, and we have some entertainment for you as well. We're going to introduce you the annual report from 2019. We're going to go over our plans for the different phases and stages we anticipate to reopen the center. We're going to share with you some of the survey results. Many of you took the recent survey. In fact, almost 1,000 participants in Nevada County took the survey, so it was really great to get such a wonderful response. We are going to have a Fund the Need this evening. So in the chat, Debbie and Melissa can help you with the click bid to get registered. It's super fun. So I know you may be going, oh my God, another Fund the Need. But I'm telling you, this program is super fun, and you get to see the thermometer go up, and you get to see your neighbors' names, and it's a fun kind of cohesive movement. And so I encourage you to register with ClickBid. And if you have any trouble, just chat with Debbie, Curtis, or Melissa, and they'll help direct you. And we're going to give you a special announcement about our gala, which will be coming up in September. We're going to do a little renovation summary because everybody wants to know, what did it end up costing? How did it go? What was this and that? And we're going to give you a little brief summary about that. And then we have a special announcement with the Nevada County Arts Council as well. And I just want to point out this photo. I love this photo, which was taken by Elias Funes of the Union. It is for students that attended Stunt Dogs last year. And many of you on this call, I do believe Lucy Buttrell, and you're on this call, donated $100 so that a class could go see Stunt Dogs for free. And here is a class from Chicago Park. It looks like they're enjoying the show. These were rescue dogs. We did it in partnership with Sammy's Friends. And I know we're going to bring Stunt Dogs back because it was hugely popular with the kids. And it was a great learning opportunity about rescue animals as well. So thank you to those of you who sponsored a class to come see that show for free. And now on to the next, our sponsors. Thank you so much, Ham Stand. You did a great meal for everybody tonight that chose to do one. It was super smooth. So thank you, Jessica, for making sure everybody got the right meal. If you got an eggplant instead of a salmon, we greatly apologize, but we think we were pretty much perfect on that. I want to thank Carolyn's Coffee. For those of you that got meals, you had a little coffee treat in there. Havenstead Winery for donating the wine, and NC Kombucha. So thank you all of those sponsors. And I also just want to thank those that helped to deliver some of these meals, including my husband, John. Thank you, John, for delivering some meals. My family has had to step up a lot in the last few years with the renovation and my working 24/7, and now with trying to keep the center viable during COVID. I think I have the most supportive family in the world, so I just want to thank John and my little 9-year-old Jolie. I also want to thank my friend Tor with Nevada County Left Coalition, who helped deliver meals to people this evening. And I think that's it. Oh, and Linda. I also want to thank you. You are our friend. You are the most perfect hospitality maven we could ask for. And thank you for helping this afternoon with the meals as well. Our team is incredible. And so I want to thank all of you. Now you want to meet some members of our team? Here we are in, it was, the date was March 13th, and we were so excited. We had worked very hard to put this together. It had been an 18-month journey to get this building built, and we were at our first show, Tinsley Ellis, and look at our smiles. We had all worked overtime. We had got this place in tip-top shape, working around the clock. And we were still not knowing what was going to happen. We were ecstatic. We had completed the venue. We weren't quite sure what the future would hold. And I just want to say this was an incredible team to build this building with. I want to thank our staff, our supporters, our capital campaign donors, and our volunteers. Here is our staff. And then also our board of directors. And I gotta say, I think we got the best board of directors that you could possibly have. They have definitely had some challenges thrown at them, and they always rise to the occasion. So thank you to my board of directors for always being the most supportive, always got my back, incredible group of people to work with. Our advisory council members, these are members of the advisory that give us advice throughout the year. And they've had some tough challenges thrown at them as well, regarding the renovation and challenges we encountered. And now with COVID, we consult with them constantly to get their advice and counsel as we move forward. So thank you, advisory council members also. All right, and now on to our annual report. So 2019, of course, is a little bit of a different year because we were renovating our main home space. And so we created a program called Center on the Go. And with Center on the Go, we were performing arts throughout venues throughout the county. A lot of them at the Elks Lodge or at Foothill Event Center. So we were always on the go. What that meant is you had a group of volunteers and staff that would load everything in a truck that you needed for a show and take it to a venue, unload it, set it up, and you were gone the next day. It was a lot of work to do on the go. We did about 1 to 2 shows a month. We also had a permanent art gallery that was in Plaza so that we kept our art gallery going. It was an extremely successful program, and I want to thank all of you, our audience members, that followed us to every location we put on a show. This is the art gallery that I mentioned that was donated to us by Lance Amaral in Brunswick. This was a very special night. It was the Open Studios night, and we had had several nights of PSPS events. We had no electricity, and so every artist had brought a lantern, a lamp, flashlights. We had a full art reception in the dark. People held up little lanterns to the piece of art or photography to see them. It was so special and so sweet. And then the lights came on about 8 o'clock that night, and we all cheered. And so I just really want to thank our team. I think it's a testament that we put on an art reception in the dark. So the center is resilient, the arts are essential, and we always come up with a solution. Let's move on to the performing arts. These are some of the shows that you love to see. Last year, we put on shows for 13,000 people. Just for a little perspective on that number, we typically, at the old center with 300 seats, we would serve about 26,000 people. In our new space, when we are performing at full capacity with 492 seats, we will be closer to over 35,000 people will be coming through our doors, will be participating in our shows. And that isn't even mentioning all the art exhibits and other activities that we do throughout the year. These were some highlights: Ladysmith Black Mambazo, Rupa and the April Fishes, and Rodney Crowell, which I know many of you have told me was your favorite show of 2019. And now on to youth arts education. So youth arts education, it is a growing and growing program here at the center. We do summer camps, what we are now calling our summer art education programs. We are expanding to do them in the fall as well. We do them with kids and adults. Here's some pictures of our children's programs. Last year we did 16 summer camps. We gave out $5,000 worth of scholarships. We knew that the need would be greater this year. And so an anonymous donor has provided another $5,000. So we can now provide $10,000 in scholarships for our camps. These camps include painting, photography, writing, comedy, music. We are going to be doing smaller classes this summer with no more than 10 students so that we can provide social distancing for everyone. And I think there will be a real need. Our children need art more than ever as an outlet and a form of self-expression at this time. So we're very excited that we have more scholarships to provide. Many of those scholarships go to families with more than one child so that they can provide opportunities for everyone in their family. So we are very proud to be able to provide those to so many children in the community. And an important addition to our youth arts education program is the California Arts Council has just approved us to have a student matinee series. So we'll be doing 3 shows a year with low to no cost tickets to children in our community. We know with COVID that we will have to figure out how the fall will be with children and field trips. So the California Arts Council has been very generous and is working with us and coming up with solutions that will help everyone. The shows that we have slated for this year are The Life and Times of Eugene Bullard, which is about the first African-American fighter pilot in World War I. This is a Dagger, a deconstruction of the Shakespeare's Scottish play. And if you don't know why I say Scottish play instead of the name, you got to ask a friend in theater and they're going to let you know. And then also Call of the Wild by Jack London, which is a fabulous play with an actor from Texas who has all these screens behind him. And it's like you're in Alaska. It's going to be amazing. And just to clear up any confusion, Harrison Ford is not the actor. I know he played it in the movie, but we have the play version. It's just as good. I'm sure this guy will be just as good as Harrison Ford. All right, and our next slide. So the center does 2 special events a year. They do this event that you're at, our annual meeting every spring, and then we have a fall gala. And this year, our fall gala, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a slide. World Fest is also a special event for us. And I'm sure many of you know World Fest was canceled this year. We will be unable to host it, but we're hopeful for 2021. This shows that we have over almost $500,000 worth of ticket sales for that event. We had almost a 6% increase over 2018. One of my prideful moments at California World Fest this year was we brought a group called Mariachi Herencia de Mexico. And it was a youth ensemble from Chicago's immigrant barrios. It had 20 members that were under 18 years old. It was a very special group that is trying to keep the tradition of mariachi alive. And it's also a very important group for where they live in Chicago and how they use music and performance to improve their social situation. It's an incredible group of people. Event helpers sponsored the group and students from Bell Hill Academy to attend World Fest and celebrate with that group their wonderful music. So it was a very awesome moment to be able to have those students come see Mariachi Herencia de Mexico. And now we're on to, oh, one more thing with World Fest. Sorry, I keep skipping ahead. World Fest Choir. So this is a new development. The California Arts Council just granted us another new youth arts program, and it's the World Fest Choir. So in the spring of 2021, we will be providing a huge choir for free. Of course, we will have to see what the public health guidelines are at that time. But this choir will learn songs from different languages, different countries. It'll be an awesome dive into other cultures. Through song is the best way to do that. And these students, we are hoping for 200 to 300 or so, will perform on the World Fest main stage for the opening ceremony. So it'll be a training. They'll train here at the center and rehearse their music, and then they will perform all together. And we are opening it up to students from Placer and Nevada County, so it'll be wonderful for students. They participate at no cost to them. It's covered by the grant. So despite things like PSPS, we had an incredible year and one of our most successful galas to date. Cirque au Centre, like I think I got the French right that time. It was our French circus themed gala. It was a huge financial success. And we have to thank Ed Thomas for that, who sold 37 seats for auction at our capital campaign. Thank you, Ed Thomas. Did a great job. And it was a super fun event. And we're going to introduce to you what we're going to do this year during this meeting, and it's going to be equally as awesome. So I just want to say we don't do this alone. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of support. It takes a lot of advice. My board members have gone through maybe 3 rehearsals just for this meeting alone. We appreciate everything people contribute. We have many members that have stuck with us for 18 months while we renovated, and now they continue their membership despite not knowing when our next show is going to be. And I think that kind of support in this small community is so touching. So I just want to say thank you so much to our staff, our board, our advisors, our partners, our donors, and our members. You stuck with us. We're still going strong, and we're still going to be here. Let's go on to the next slide. We're going to do a little brief snapshot on our financials. So of course, with being closed and having limited programming for the center, we were only doing about 1 to 2 shows a month. And typically at a full year, we're going to be ramping up to do about 10 shows a month. So during the renovation, it's a little bit of a flip-flop. You'll see that World Fest has a much bigger chunk of the pie. In a typical year, that won't be. We'll have a lot more center programming. You can see memberships make up 50% of our contributed income. We are so grateful for all of our members and our business sponsors and the grants we receive from the City of Grass Valley. I have to say the City of Grass Valley really has stepped up to help the center and be a wonderful partner. Not only did we receive office space for them, from them for the last 18 months, it was kind of like, imagine that you have a son who's home from college and he's like, I'm just going to be in your basement for a couple weeks, and they're there like 18 months. That was us with the City of Grass Valley. So I hope that they know how grateful we are that they didn't kick us out and they let us stay there as long as we needed to. This is a few of our expenses. World Fest was a huge chunk of our operating and World Fest expenses. In our operations is things like all the people that have to put on the show, all that staff that had to carry it out of a garage and go set it up at Foothill Event Center. That's a little bit about what those numbers are. Okay, from 2019, we're gonna give you a preview about 2020, because I know everyone has questions about what are you gonna do? It's so different. How are you gonna survive this? And the center will. We're gonna survive and thrive. We always do. On March 12th, we opened our doors. The team had worked overtime for almost 6 weeks. This is including contractors, staff, all of us. Which at the time I said, you know, we need to do this extra cost because we got to get open. So we endured the extra cost so that we could work overtime and open our doors in time for the great shows that we had booked. Tinsley Ellis was on March 13th. It was a great show, blue sky, awesome sound, really comfortable seating. We did it with just 250 people because at the time the governor had started to come down with guidelines and he had said 250 was the max of a gathering. Now the shows are canceled through September 3rd. We continue to wait for guidance from our government on what the next step is. But at the same time, we're also planning because we have to be ready. Like when they announce, here we go, we want to be ready. So we continue to plan and pivot as we move through this time. How did we respond to COVID at first? We'll go through a little bit of that. So when COVID hit, we defined our goals immediately. We knew that we needed to keep our operations running. Closing our doors was not an option. The actions that we did above helped us to keep our doors open. The mission of the center is central and important for the arts and culture to exist in this community. We know that the arts are essential, and we know that the center is resilient. So we were not going to close our doors. We were going to pivot, and we were going to keep going and develop ways that we can continue to do our mission in the community. Even though we are unable to have full-blown concerts at this time, we continue to do valuable work. We build our arts education program, which we are now expanding to adults in addition to children. We're building visual arts. We will still have visual art exhibitions. And we are looking at gathering of small music as we get the guidance to go to do so. You know, I think Yes, of course, being in a huge room with lots of people is important, but also if you're in a small room with 50 or 100 people listening to an artist, doesn't that make all the difference in the world for both the artist and the audience? Don't we enjoy it almost the same in a way? So we are making plans so that we can continue to do our work. What is everybody doing? Some people have asked me. Well, Bryn is rescheduling a lot of shows. The box office is doing some refunds and then also still selling tickets because people are buying tickets for 2021 still, and for some of the shows we have planned in the fall. Bryn is also organizing all of our summer education programs. Shane is helping us move back into this building because every single item was in the off-center stage. We still have bills to pay, so Debbie's pretty busy. Our marketing team, Melissa and Brianne, are working on new branding and the new website, and we're looking to kind of ramp up our rental business because we think that's how we might make more revenue in the fall. Peter is cleaning up 20,000 duplicate records. We had plans to already move our database to a great new reservation ticket system. We had hiccups and we're figuring it out, and there are so many duplicate records because our last system didn't have accounts. So now we actually have accounts, so you don't have to put your credit card in every time you buy a ticket. It's like all these improvements are being made. And Dave is taking good care of our building. So thank you, Dave. He was instrumental in the renovation, and he's still instrumental today as we work through some of our fix-its. So let's talk about our plans for reopening. Now, as I go through these phases, please know we don't have the dates yet. We will be waiting for public health guidelines as we move towards those dates, but we have to make plans. We have to make plans for whether it's 50 or 100 or whatever it might be. So we are making our public health safety guidelines for each phase. So in stage 2, retail, as we know, is opened. So we will be opening our retail space, which is our box office and our gallery and lobby. The artwork that is here behind me, I don't know, can you guys see the artwork? This beautiful picture from Nancy Mintz. It's pretty awesome. No one really got to see it. So our gallery will be open to limited capacity. The art is for sale. We also have water bottles and we have t-shirts, and you can buy a ticket at the box office. So we'll be announcing some limited hours that you can come and see the art and buy a ticket to a show. For phase 3, we are looking at whether or not it will start out as 100 and then go to 250. We're not sure, but we thought we would make plans for both. So with phase 3, we are launching a From the Center Stage series, which will feature the broadcasting of local artists. We heard you, and a lot of people have suggested outdoor concerts, so we're focusing on outdoor concerts, dinner theater, expanding our day programs for adults and children, things like that. And also, just to mention before we move on, drive-ins. A lot of you have written to us and said, do a drive-in concert. And we'd love to. I'm looking for a place that has a space for 150 cars. So if your house can accommodate 150 cars, will you call me? That'd be great. So for the latter part of phase 3, we were guessing that it will be kind of like how we had shut down, is that we had gone to 250 people. So we're anticipating that later into the fall or sometime in the fall that we'll be able to have 250 people, which we would do small performances at that capacity. We also want to build up our rental business, as I mentioned. In bringing it back today, I'd like to also talk to you about what we want to do this summer. So what can we do this summer? We know we can probably have very small groups, right? So since there's no concerts and we are doing our education programs and things like that, but what can we do for all of you guys? So we've been talking to our advisory council about creating summer exclusives, like small parties. And if you think about it, it makes sense because perhaps you are not comfortable having 30 people to your house for your birthday or your anniversary. Maybe you want to have it here in our really spacious lobby where we have lots of room. Melissa, our marketing manager, coined the phrase room to celebrate. Do you want to have your birthday or anniversary here where you have room to celebrate the event? And we do all the disinfecting, we have the food, we help you navigate these challenges of having a celebration today so that you can still have it with social distancing in a safe space. So we're going to offer these summer exclusives. We're totally open to more ideas. I mean, you could have dinner on the stage, you could have dinner for two in our lobby. Like we're pivoting and we're getting creative and we're trying to figure out what are some of the things that we can make work. So these are some of the summer exclusives we plan on offering. And now we're going to, as we prepared for opening for some of these activities, we wanted to get your advice. So many of you on this call took our survey, and we had such a great response. Almost 1,000 people took the survey. And it was also really interesting to see some of the answers changing from week to week. Like one thing was really a big priority, and then it changed a little bit more recently. So we know that taking a survey today does not mean that these are the protocols that are going to work a month from now, but this provided us some direction for how you're feeling about attending events. So thank you for taking the survey. So here's a little bit about our survey results. Once the shelter in place is lifted, when do you anticipate returning? Well, of course, lots of people are mixed, right? 1 in 4 can't wait and they're ready to go now. 1 to 3 months is some people's answer. And a few of you, you just haven't decided yet. You want to wait and see. So that's totally understandable. And then we asked you about protocols. Like, what do you want us to do so that you feel good about coming to an event? I was telling my team earlier, I thought it was interesting, in the very beginning last week, it was more like 50% the audience members would be required to wear a mask. And now this week, it dropped to about 30% the audience required to wear a mask. The center believes that whenever we can open, we would make it required in the, for this first 30 days so that we can kind of see how the waters are going. That is our thoughts at this moment. We did have very strong response that of course, all the staff would be wearing masks. Gloves and temperature, you guys were a little less enthusiastic about that. That was like some of it. The gloves, I think, was less than 15% thought you needed to wear gloves. What was a high priority that was really important is that there's sanitation stations, that the seats are wiped down, and that we limit capacities, and that's monitored. Also, which was really important, is that there's like a cleaner sanitation person that is here during the show to keep wiping things down repeatedly. So that was one thing. And that's Jessica, if you haven't met her, in the picture, our membership associate. So the good news that we received from this survey is 74% of you said that if these protocols that you specified were in place, you were likely to attend. We have about 20-something percent said I'm there for sure, no matter what. And 39% of you said, I'm nervous, but I would likely go. And that was reassuring. 19% said, I need more time. And 6.5% said, I'm going to wait for the vaccine. So this is some of the information that is helpful to us as we try to plan for the future. And we understand the future changes every day, but we like to plan here at the Center for the Arts. So this information was really important for kind of phrasing what should we do next and how we should position ourselves next. The coronavirus is having a devastating impact on America's $878 billion arts and culture sector. But the recent events around George Floyd has impacted all of America. It's such an interesting time. We are struggling with a global pandemic, an economic crisis, decades of simmering social unrest, racial inequality, all at one time. And so I think to myself, how can the arts be of significance during this time? I know that the arts offer economic recovery. We will be the kindling for the economy. When we are back at full capacity, every attendee that comes to a show will spend $31 beyond the cost of their ticket. And that will put $1 million in revenue back into our bars, restaurants, and store. And that's significant. I know that the arts allows us our voices to be heard, which is so important right now. It provides self-expression. It helps us to understand each other and to understand other cultures, which is critical for us being able to build communities and unify communities. In order to be successful and to unify all of us as a community, we know that we must make the arts accessible to everybody. And what we saw from this survey is that not everybody's going to be ready to come back. There's people that want to take more time, and that's understandable. Not everyone will feel safe. But we also know that the most vulnerable, or those that don't feel safe, can't be without the arts. They can't be without music, and they can't be without a book reading or being able to see an art exhibit. So that's why we've spoken so much about how we can be of service to our community at this time. The center wants to bring music, art, and life into the homes of our most vulnerable, those that are not yet ready to return, and those that want to hear songs coming from our stage and our amazing sound system, but they need more time. We need your help. So today, we have a $5,000 match, and we are going to ask you to help us make it possible for us to bring performances into the home. Now, I know some of you might have been reading about the center and go, but wait, you built a broadcast room. Yeah, we did build a broadcast room, that's right. But there is a cost to broadcast. It doesn't run itself. So the cost of broadcasting alone is anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a show. It depends on the size of the show, the artist, how many cameras we use. The more we raise, the more arts we can bring into the homes. This will be high quality than maybe what you've seen with some of these concerts that have been online. And we'll be able to use our phenomenal sound system. We have many local artists that are interested already in this program because they want to play on a great stage in a new theater with a Meyer sound system. But we've also checked in with all of our artists that still are planning to coming in the fall, Almond Betts Band, Pink Martini, and they've agreed to a one-time streaming. So if we are able to raise the funds to pay the crews to do the streaming, then we can do it and we can bring it to people that don't feel ready to come out. So there's a lot of people on this call here today. If all of you gave $30, we'd make our $5,000 goal easy, meet the match, and we'd make $10,000. And we could do about 6 streaming broadcasts, which is awesome. If all of you gave $100, then we would make $15,000 and we could do twice as many broadcasts. That's kind of amazing. We don't want to leave anybody out. We want everyone to have the arts in their home. So by helping us today, you help make that possible. So now we have a very special friend of the center that is going to do a presentation for you. Her name is Laura Bird Burnham. She's a singer, songwriter, and activist that lives in Los Angeles. She's released 4 albums on Saddle Creek Records as the Myrna Birds. She has toured the world as a member of the Postal Service and Bright Eyes, headlining festivals like Coachella, Lollapalooza, Glastonbury, and appearing on the Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert, David Letterman, and Jay Leno. She helped found Omaha Girls Rock and teaches songwriting at 826 LA, a creative writing center in Los Angeles. So as we hear from Laura, she's gonna have a few words, and then I have a challenge for y'all. She's really good. She sent me this video this afternoon, and I was like, this is really good. And I wanted to dance. I want to ask all of you to dance to Laura's song. I want to see all these little squares and your body's dancing. So if you need to confess that you're in jeans or pajamas, Michael Thompson, or if you're wearing flip-flops like me, it's all excused. It's a fundraiser via Zoom, but I want to see dancing bodies on every single square. And it's kind of a romantic song, so if you're with your partner, grab them. All right, and now here is Laura Bird Burnham.
Hi, my name is Laura Bird, and I want to thank the Center for having me. My first ever performance at the Center, performed live from Los Angeles, California. It's a real honor to be here with you and to celebrate an arts organization. Wonderful community. I've spent a lot of time up there, and I love it very much. I grew up in a small town in Western Maryland. I went to high school in a town called Boonesboro. It was very homogenous. And there was a local theater called the Maryland Theater in a neighboring town where I went to my very first concert ever at the age of 7, and it was The Temptations. So when I think of community performance centers, I think about that, about my first concert and my first experience seeing live music, seeing people who were not from my community. And that's one of the things that I think is the most important thing about arts organizations, is that they allow us to interact with people who are not like us. And they use a tool, music, which is a thing that unifies us. And I think that is incredibly important. When I helped found Omaha Girls Rock, I also saw firsthand the incredibly important work that arts education does for young children, particularly girls of color. And it teaches kids of all types that their voice is important, that their voice is meaningful. I volunteer in LA at 826, which is a wonderful creative writing nonprofit. I teach songwriting there. And it's incredible to see how the kids use the tools of art and music to express their feelings. I'm a person who feels like my life was saved by music. It's how I've expressed myself, and particularly in a country where we don't have great access to mental health care or medical health care, music helps us stay healthy and stay strong. So I'm going to sing a song of mine. It's a song called What We Gained in the Fire. And it feels very appropriate for what's happening right now in our country, and sort of just the power that music has to bring community together. So I sing for you in your community and all of the great work you're doing, all of the great work you're going to continue to do because of the money you're raising tonight. And of course, I sing for everyone who is heartbroken right now. And I feel like through song, I can be with you in Nevada City and Grass Valley, and I can be in Minneapolis with the family of George Floyd, and in so many different communities at once together in song. Okay, here we go. We are ships on an ocean, passing on our way back home. We collide for a minute, then we move on. We move on. And I got something I don't wanna lose. I'm not ready to leave you. We are born far from each other, then we find our way back home. And though the road seems familiar, we're just remembering the way to go. 'Cause what we lose in the fire we gain in the flood. What we lose in the fire we gain in the flood. What we lose in the fire we gain in the flood. What we lose in the fire is never gone. We are lost without each other as we find our way back home. And though the road it leads together, still we make our way alone. And I got something I don't wanna lose, but I'm learning to let go of you. 'Cause what we lose in the fire we gain in the flood. What we lose in the fire we gain in the flood. What we lose in the fire we gain in the flood. What we lose in the fire is never gone. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Wow, thank you, Laura. That was awesome. And thank you all of you guys who got up and danced. It was nice to dance again, wasn't it? What Laura did just right now is she united all of us, whether we danced or sang or swayed to the music, and that's what artists do. And it struck all of us that are in the arts that, you know, there's no relief fund right now for artists. There isn't, unfortunately. And I had spoken with Eliza, our wonderful leader, Eliza Tudor at the Nevada County Arts Council, and she was already in the works planning a relief fund for artists because it is important for us to be able to support them. Nevada County has so many artists, and it is important that we provide them with some relief during this time. And so I'm thrilled to announce that Nevada County Arts Council is starting a relief fund for artists. They've already started their webpage, and it's going to be up, and they understand that this coalition, they believe the time is now to give back to the artists and the performers who contribute so much to our quality of life every day. And I'm happy to announce that when we can resume some ticket sales and have some events here at the center, Miners Foundry and the Center for the Arts will be donating a portion of every ticket to that relief fund for artists in Nevada County. So I want to thank you for your leadership, Eliza Tudor, and for the vision and the foresight to create this fund so that all of the artists can continue to thrive in our community.
Thanks so much, Amber Jo. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm on an episode of Doctor Who. You are doing such an incredible job at the center amidst such extraordinary, unprecedented challenges that it's amazing you even have time to promote another kind of fund, another kind of relief fund. But we all know that we depend upon a healthy arts ecosystem, which includes our professional artists who contribute so much, and that without our beautiful venues such as the Center and the Miners Foundry and our producing organizations, you know, where would we be? So I encourage everybody, in addition to, and first and foremost, to giving to the center today, to give generously to this relief fund. We've copied the page which went up today into the chat. Amber Jo, thanks so much. And you'll be hearing more from Amber Jo and myself and Gretchen and other leaders of other organizations who feel equally strongly about supporting our individual professional artists. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliza, and thanks for all you do with the Arts Council. So Melissa is going to show us real quick where we are with our $5,000 match. Have we made our $5,000 match yet?
We are getting very close.
Oh, good. So we're almost there. If you haven't donated, please contribute to make our $5,000 match tonight. That'll be 10,000.
And thank you, Nancy, Betsy, Jason, Martin, Joseph, Roger, Kate, Kelly, Aaron, Tyson, Solomon, Allison, Eliza, Michael, Lucy, Shannon, Gordon. Thank you so much for donating. Nancy and Tim and Marilyn, Carolyn, Melanie, John, Catherine, Rob, Deborah, Jonathan, Eldon. It just keeps going. And Bev and Deborah. And Debbie and Lisa and Donald. This is fantastic, you guys. Thank you so much for your contributions.
So again, that will continue to be open. It'll be open all night, so you can continue to contribute to that and help us broadcast some arts and bring it into people's homes. And thank you so much. We're going to go real quickly and show you the rest of the presentation, which is a little bit about the renovation. Oh, but before that, I forgot. So every year we do a gala, which is another fundraiser, and it has sold out the last 2 times we've done it. We do have our esteemed chair again, Lisa, and I think Lisa's on the call. Lisa, are you here on the call somewhere?
I did see her.
She's somewhere. There she is. Should we unmute her? Do you want to say anything about the gala, Lisa?
I could find her.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so yes, I'm happy to host the gala for the 3rd year in a row. I just want to say that Amber Jo is doing an amazing job of keeping everything going right now, and I've really been impressed with your presentation that you're working on. I got to spend a lot of time with her in the last year because I'm over at City Hall a lot, and so I appreciate the visits in the office and all the work that you guys have done to keep things going. And I'm really pleased to host the gala again and be the chairperson. And we're not quite sure what it's going to look like yet, but we're going to do something. And even if it looks like this, that's okay, because I have to say I'm really enjoying your online meeting tonight. So thanks for putting this together. Thanks for so many people being involved. And I was fortunate enough to be at the first show at the center, the first and only show at the center. And I was sitting in there listening to the music. My thought was, I'm coming to every live music performance that happens here, no matter who it is, because it was so fantastic. So for those of you who weren't there, you do not know what you're in for. It's the best thing that's happened in our community in a long time. And thanks for staying positive and being there, and buy some tables for the gala.
So with that, the City of Grass Valley is working with us for a plan for the gala if we cannot be at the center. And part of that plan was to be downtown Grass Valley, outdoors, at a long table that went down half of Mill Street. So of course, as you know, gala tables go quickly. They have every year, and it looks like we've already sold one. So if you want to reserve your gala table, tonight's the time to get in there quick before they're all gone. It will be an incredible time. We will put in an incredible evening like always. You will have the option to be at your home and experience the gala like this, or to be at an outside location on Mill Street in downtown Grass Valley. So I hope that you will join us. It'll be really fun. We have an awesome group of jazz singers that's coming for the first part. We have the most awesome auctioneer. He's super entertaining. He is great. His name is Greg, and I worked with him for years when I was at ACT in San Francisco, and he's going to be lots of fun. So join us September 18th for the gala. So now, oh, and you can sign up for those gala tables either on ClickBid, or you can just chat and we'll follow up with you. You could chat to Debbie.
How much are they?
All right. Oh, and I forgot to mention, sorry, if you guys have questions about this presentation, just chat them to Debbie, and we're going to do questions at the end. We're almost there at the end. We just have a couple more slides. So if there's some driving question you have about the center or what we're doing at this time, jot it down or chat it over to Debbie, and then we'll do questions and answers in a bit. Okay, moving on to the renovation. If you're on this call and you didn't know that we spent 18 months on a renovation, you probably know now. We were closed for the last 18 months doing a renovation. We opened 2 days before COVID shut us down. Here's the old center, the concessions window. And remember the seats? I still have 12 seats in my backyard. So if anybody wants them, you're welcome to have them in your yard. In fact, they're free now, even though we sold them at a previous gala. Oh, and it looks like the Dunn group is buying a gala table. I see the little gala table chats coming up here. Here was our lobby before. So why did we renovate? I thought it was interesting, and maybe it's been a few years, so I thought we should revisit real quick. On the survey, I had a few people ask, well, what did you renovate for? Well, let me remind you, our seats were over 75 years old. The springs were completely gone. They no longer made parts for those seats, so we had to kind of patch them together every time they broke, which was regularly. We had no HVAC in the building at all. We had outdated electrical, the roof leaked, the exterior walls leaked, the framing was rotted, the fire alarm was dated, and we had no ADA access at all in the front of the building. So we had quite a need there that we needed to renovate. So what do we now provide? Well, our state-of-the-art facility now has an ADA ramp at the front. We also have a copper loop system, and if you haven't heard of that, it is a system that a man named Jeffrey Kloos developed here in town. He's also done this system for BART and some really sophisticated areas. This system, I learned, is also really popular in Europe, like it's at the Sixtine Chapel. If you have a hearing aid that has a T-coil, you can just turn it on. A lot of T-coil hearing aids automatically switch on, and you can hear perfectly what's happening on the stage with that T-coil hearing aid. What I hear from some of our members is they don't want to go to a show or a special event because the cacophony, their hearing aid picks up everything and it makes it so uncomfortable. So the copper loop system dials in to just the performance on the stage. It's hooked into our whole sound system. So it's a really sophisticated system. If you don't have a T-coil hearing aid, we also have 26 headsets at the bar that you can take into the theater as well. We have a lot more restrooms. The women have 9, and they used to have 3. We have a sound and broadcast room, and our sound is a Meyer sound system, which is really incredible, top of the line. It's the best above the Bay Area. We added more green rooms. We were able to be much more competitive. Sacramento was really coming up in the last couple of years. I think they built about 3 theaters at once. So the center had been really feeling it, and this has made it much more competitive for us. The flexible seating, if you don't know already, the seating can completely move. We can get rid of every seat in the house and have a banquet for 250. We could have it half seated for like 600. We could get rid of all the seats and have a Michael Franti dance concert for 750. We have lots of different options here. And we have 200 more seats, so we're more financially viable. If you haven't, oh, and then this is just a little bit how we ended up, right? Our beginning budget was 4.3 million. That included refinancing the original mortgage, and we ended up at 6.2 million. So we had significant rain delays and some other construction delays that created it to go 8 months longer than we originally anticipated. So let me tell you something about this. Let's go to the next slide, Brianne, and show what the theater looks like. So we have an incredible gift that was given to us. Brian Evans, who's now the CEO of the hospital, he was on our board, and he was moving at the time to Sacramento. So he said, well, you should take this guy, Walt Bringman, on your board, because he's been our project manager for all these jobs at the hospital. So you should put him on. And so we're like, okay, so we took Walt on, and we thought, oh, he'll be so beneficial for the project. He was so beneficial for the project. To have a project manager that has managed huge hospital projects was so great for all of us to have. With Walt and Diane McIntyre, our project manager, it was incredible to work with this team. So Walt reminds me every day, this was a 70-year-old building made of CMU blocks. The plaster had completely rotted away. There were things we discovered that we could not have discovered unless we had torn it down. And that wasn't a possibility. We couldn't afford to do the discovery that we needed to do, but prior to getting in. This was an old building. So when you look at what we've created with that old building, 6 million, it's worth every penny. You know, our private investor said to me, he's like, Amber Jo, if you knew it was gonna go so over budget, would you have done it? And I said, absolutely. Look at what we have done for the community. Look at what we've created. We have a state-of-the-art facility with the best sound north of San Francisco. And we have top artists reaching out to us that want to perform here because they've heard that it's intimate and that it's beautiful. When we are able to have full-blown concerts, this is going to blow people away, what we've created. And if we had gone to someone in the city to try and do it and not stayed all local, well, you know what? The price tag on this would easily have been 13 million, but it wasn't. We kept it all local. It was 6 million, and it is beautiful, and it's going to be the crown jewel of our community. Here are some items that drove the budget to go over. Of course, we had the most rain. I think Diane McIntyre said in 72 years or something, in about 4 months of really bad rain last winter. Which was unfortunate. We started a little bit late, so we didn't start in the summer months, and we hit more rain, unfortunately. A lot of things like steel tariffs hit us. But, you know, we do an estimate, and then it's like the cost of steel would like double, and we would have to change things around. So a lot of that drove the costs. We had a lot of shutdown costs because every time we missed an open date, we had to move all of those shows and pay for sound and lights in the rental venue. So these were some of the items that drove the cost. We had a great master plan going in, and everything on that master plan we delivered in. The overages that we experienced were from renovating a 70-year-old CMU block building that was kind of thrown together for the car dealership, but not really a makeshift theater. So now many of you have asked about what debt is owed, you know, and how we're going to manage that in the future. I just wanted to really briefly go over so that everybody knows the debt that we owe currently on the center is 1.5 million with a private lender and 3.6 million with River Valley Community Bank, which has been about the best partner in the world that the center could have. They have been incredible. We are working with River Valley Community Bank on deferring payments and doing interest only from the next 10 months. They have a plan. They're working with us to get us through COVID. So we are so thankful that we have River Valley Community Bank. As soon as that PPP came available, they called us and they're like, we need to help you help get this. And they've been wonderful. So thank you, River Valley. To pay down our debt pre-COVID, we had a wonderful plan in place, and we were making that plan happen. The debt service is based off of selling 59% of our seat inventory. So we weren't counting on a sellout every time. We were counting on selling 59% of our seats, We were counting on selling like 1.5 drinks at the bar to every person that came. We had a good plan, and that plan was working. In fact, March, April, and May, our shows were sold more than 59%. So we were on track, and that's amazing, but that was pre-COVID. So I know now we need to work and pivot on new strategies. In closing, I want to thank all of you for joining us today. What's gonna happen next, we're gonna do a little Q&A, so you get to ask me some questions if you'd like to. And then we're gonna do some breakout rooms, and I'm gonna pop into all of your breakout rooms. And so you can ask me anything you want. You could tell me your ideas. And we have a little surprise for you. So in the breakout room, we really want some more ideas what to do this summer. Like we showed you the summer menu, like little small parties and things like that. If you have some great ideas for this summer, like something you would like to have at the center with maybe just your family or something like that, let us know. And we're gonna draw from all the ideas we get, and somebody's gonna win a free summer menu item, whether you get to have dinner on the stage or whatever it is. So give us your ideas, we wanna hear it. I wanna thank all our capital donors. You guys made it happen, you made this building happen. If those of you that might want to still contribute to the capital campaign, there are still seats for sale. Oh, I love Nancy Sullivan, she's dancing, she's so cool. Yay, dancing. Our world is changing and the center is adapting. We made it through 18 months of construction and we're gonna get through this. I mean, people ask me every day, what are you gonna do? Like, you're closed, how are you gonna do it? And I'm like, did you not notice we were just closed for 18 months and we totally did it? Like, we're gonna keep doing it. It's not over for the center. Like, the arts are essential and the center is resilient. We will be here. We're gonna continue to bring the arts, whether it's to 50 people in that room, 100 people in that room. If we have it to turn it into a church to do with the current guidelines, we'll do that. No, I'm just kidding. So we're gonna make it happen. We gotta do the mission of our center, and we gotta do the mission for the community. We all need the arts. Don't you guys need to hear a song? I do. So you guys wanna ask your questions? Does anybody have a question about the presentation?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Nobody had any question. I answered every question you had. No, none.
Lots of people bought tables or want
Oh,
to.
is there anybody in the chat who wants
I started a
I can
list.
unmute you too if you want to raise your hand.
Now that's a little harder, but
Oh, thank you, Deb Thomas. Thank you, Nancy. She says, thanks for all you're doing. Oh, what have we raised so far, Melissa?
hold on, I'm looking to that. I gotta refresh my
We've got
screen.
2,700 in tables purchased via ClickBid. And we've got $3,990 on the Fund the Need.
So we are only 1,100 short from making our match of $5,000. So the bidding's open all night long. So if you want to go in there later on, you're happy to do so and help us raise another $1,000 so we can make our match.
I have a commitment for 6 other tables.
And the tables are almost going to be gone, guys. So if you want a table, make sure you get it. The gala always goes fast. So thank you, everybody. All right, awesome. Well, if there's no more questions.
Someone was asking about the gallery opening. Do you want to talk about next Friday?
Oh, sure. So we are going to open our gallery next Friday. Really, if you didn't get to see Nancy Mintz's show, which is so unfortunate, it's beautiful. So we're going to keep the capacity in here at 35 people. The capacity for our lobby is 244, so that's less than 25% capacity. So there'll be lots of opportunity for social distancing. Masks are required to come and view the art. The art is for sale, and there is a book at the membership desk that you can view the prices. It is beautiful. If you haven't seen it, you really should see it. It'll just be here a few more weeks, and then we move on to our next artist. We've had to kind of shuffle the whole year with the closings, but now we're going to open the gallery again. So, and we also have t-shirts and water bottles for sale if you come too.
Amber, how much are we short on the match?
We were short 1,100, Ed.
I will give 250 if we get 3 more people to give 250. Raise your hand if you want to pop in 250 more. Michael Thompson, good job.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so nice. So we got 250. Ed will give 250 if we get 2 more 250s.
The lambs.
Yeah, I can't see everybody, so
We
it's
got
hard.
the lambs and we got Michael. 1 more 250 and we've made our goal.
Say your name if you can't be seen on the screen.
Deborah Thomas.
Deb Thomas.
We've made our goal. Thank you, everybody. You guys, thanks so much for joining our first annual virtual event. It has been a total challenge to try and figure out how do we bid, how do we have an artist, how do we, it's been a definite challenge, but it's been super fun.